Hey, what's up, guys? This is Ren Zero. I was going to do an interview, and the person that I was going to interview ended up turning it out on me. So I'm using a new program, so my voice is going to be a little low in it. Actually, it's very low. His voice came out fantastic, but it was because I have a mic, and I have to hold it, in my hand. So therefore, I had it too far away from my mouth at the time. But I'm learning the program, and it's a very good program. I'm using Skype Burner or something. I forget what it's called. A little under the weather. It's been very, very cold here. Snow up on the mountains and stuff. It's just, hopefully it'll get warmer again soon. Working a lot of hours. So the building kind of slowed down because they split my days, so I couldn't have a whole lot of time to work on the building. But now I had a lot of time. But I've been recording as I was building up, on it, and so I'm going to show you the progress, because this is a pretty long interview. He asked a lot of great questions and stuff, so it's kind of hard to edit it because I really don't want to cut anything out. It's getting closer and knowing me more. But anyway, without further ado, I'll show you the progress that I've done on the building. Of course, there's more work done to it already, but I'm just going to show you from the very beginning and the steps that I took to build it. Luckily, I have it all on a video file. But I like to document my progress. So this is Red Zero.
Okay, well, normally Ren Zero will be doing an interview with someone else, but I thought Templar Crusader 1, I'd interview, a good friend, Ren Zero. So how you doing, Ren Zero?
Oh, I'm doing awesome, man. Glad to sit down with you. It's kind of weird because I've never been on this side of the table, so I'm kind of nervous on what you're going to be asking me.
Well, don't worry, I'm going to ask you some good questions. I'm going to ask for stuff that will feed back into the community, and we'll either laugh, or we'll cry, or we'll sit there and just go, why did he say that? And unfortunately, we've just been chatting way before this, and there was some really great stuff that should have been recorded. But anyway, so look, first of all, let's just talk about you. So, what got you into this? What got you into role-playing, gaming, and stuff like that? What were your favorite games growing up?
Well, basically I was into World War II models, as a lot of people already know. I was searching around one time because I had taken a hiatus for 6 years because my dad got sick, and so I decided not to paint because he was my inspiration. He was my my strength, my everything. He would look at my models and he was the one that would basically say, that's shit, or oh, that's good, or why doesn't it look like this? And I'm like, what do you mean look like this? I used to paint Japanese zeros, and I remember him looking at one of my Japanese zeros, and he goes, where's the bullet holes? Where's the exhaust marks? It's too white, and it was like, oh. So it taught me to go and start looking and researching, and back then there was no internet, you had to go get books. You actually had to go to the library and start reading things and looking at pictures, and back then, of course, World War II pictures were black and white, so you had to start studying. Start studying, well, what color was it? Because it's too white, my dad said. What does that mean? Later I would learn that it was imperial gray, and then it was like a ghost, gray that they painted, and that's how I learned. I just started learning to do research and go, okay, this is where, okay, what is exhaust marks? Okay, this is an engine, this is where the exhaust is, okay, I get it. And you start, getting more and more, into modifications and being more realistic.
Okay, so it's mostly like World War, let me start again. World War II, military models. Did you ever get into any gaming side? Because back then, I mean, I'm nearly 40 now, I shouldn't really say that, but I'm nearly 40 now, so I remember, like, back in my day when I was, like, a bit younger than that, there was a load of Second World War games you could play back in tops. Did you get into that at all, or?
No, I did not get into any kind of other gaming system. I actually came up with my own, and that was it was a larger scale. The painting, that's why I was painting the models that I was.
Was that the kind of game? Was that the kind of game where you could shoot round corners with your tanks, and you'd have a car that could like drive off ramps, like it would be like, I don't know, what, 50 yards something, and land in your mate's
I didn't get that complicated. I was more into, can you shoot into a building? What kind of damage would it do? I did see Warhammer back then. Of course, it was around, and I saw that. But that's what inspired me, because it was a geeky game to me. Warhammer is a geeky game. It was, I used to laugh at the nerds myself. Yeah, I'm sorry.
And look at you now. Look at you now.
Yep. That's why I say, go ahead, slap me. But I saw Warhammer, and I saw these elaborate battlefields, and I go, dang, man, I could do that in World War II scale, but I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So then I started building, and then I just got better at just little things. I never built buildings like you see now. I just built like little pillboxes and stuff, and just started dabbling in, what can I use? And back then, the things were heavy, because I was using plaster. I was using, stuff like that, I didn't know about all this light stuff that you can use, insulation foam, and da-da-da-da. Shoot, man, I was so primitive that it was sickening. You would laugh at the stuff that I made. You're like, what were you thinking when you did this? Shoot, man, I was freaking 12 years old, 11 years old, trying to figure this out.
Okay, so you play a lot of your own games and stuff like that. So the big question is, when did you start getting to 40k? And what inspired you to get into 40k?
What happened was, it was Exillian's videos. I was searching one night, and I remember the Warhammer again. It came up in my head. I go, Warhammer? I wonder what that game's all about anyway. This geeky game. So I went ahead and typed it up, and I started looking around. I saw an army. It was called the Tyranids, and I saw a lot of people that were playing them, and I was like, okay, I'm watching the videos, but I was like, wow, man, they look like aliens. The movie Aliens. And I go, man, I'm a big fan of Aliens. I go, man, I could do that. So I typed up, Tyranids, and all of a sudden this show popped up called Talking About Tyranids. Mr. Exillian himself. And I just basically grew off of his videos and went, wow, I want to make videos like him. I want to freaking, go straight into, Tyranids, and that's what I did. And that's how it started.
Oh, that's fantastic. So, let's look at the other side of 40k gaming. So, what styles of painting and what styles of inspire you? So there's a lot of people on the internet at the moment. There's a lot of people on YouTube. They're doing some really fantastic work out there. Now, we had a little conversation earlier. What is art? And how do you see? The question I suppose I want to put across to you is, how do you see what we do, as in model making, reflects towards art as well? So, is what we do art?
So you're asking, is wargaming art? I believe it is. Wargaming is art, because anyone that can build their imagination, anybody that can see a model and go, no, this is how I see it painted, this is where I see the image of what it looks like, and then can transform it, convert it, and then build a battlefield for it, and then you're basically building a world. Anyone who says that you're not an artist, anyone that says that, what you're doing, they're downing you, because they don't understand the thought process that goes behind it, all the work that goes behind it. Everything is measurements and everything. When you're building a battlefield, nothing freaking is just something where you just go, I just cut here and cut there. Oh, there it is. There's my battlefield. It's all about, everything is precision. Because you have this image, you have this world in your mind, and you're building it for the world to see it. Anyone that can do that, that's art. What separates us from a painter? You know what I mean? And I mean a painter that on a canvas, He saw an image and he threw it onto this canvas, and you're looking at it going, wow, man, that's amazing. Yeah, you got a really crazy thought of the world, but yeah, it looks nice, But it was his thought.
Yeah. So basically what you're saying is that, even though, okay, we were talking about mass production, weren't we, earlier? So, and the things I was saying is that the guys that I work with don't see what I do for my hobby as art, and we were both saying, well, of course it's art. So this is art because, in that sort of sense, is that yes, it's mass-produced, but every single figure that's ever made and put together by us and everybody else in the community is always completely different. So, okay, that leads me into this then, which is, out of your Tyranid army, if you had to save one model, okay, one model in your Tyranid army, what would it be and why?
What would be my favorite model, is what you're asking?
Yeah, let's say your house is on fire, you've got to save one model.
Yeah,
and I know I think you're a part-time fireman as well.
I would
But
say...
you've got to...
So if I had to save one model, if my house